you really don't know what to expect, being that it's here in August, and in our case, we have a lot of new players, but the ones that were returning, Jerome Hunter, Zach Freemantle, Cam Kraft, and then in today's game, Dez, the other player that was on our team a year ago, committed his fourth foul 3 minutes into the second half. So
Yeah.
you're in essence playing a real college game with 9 players that have never been here before, and that's how it felt. We had some good moments, and then certainly we had, some moments that I think we can learn from. The beauty of this trip is it's the practices, the camaraderie we get by being here, even today's shoot around, and the lessons that you learn in a game tonight. And no doubt it helps the younger players and the inexperienced players the most. And we really have gotten a lot out of this total experience, including today's game.
Were you happy with the way that you guys got off to that fast start? It seemed like your pace, your energy on defense was really sharp to start the game.
Yeah, we actually did a good job of executing in the first half a number of times. And certainly it's inconsistent, but we created a lot of shots. I think we had one 3-point make at the half, and yet we had 44 points. It's difficult to have 44 points when you have one made 3-pointer. I think we attempted 4. So, we were able to get to the basket and do a good job converting. Didn't finish nearly as well in the second half, but we found our rhythm from the 3-point line. I guess in the second half from 3, we were 5 for 12, and that balanced out some of maybe the poor play from the field. We were 11 for 31, 35% from the field in the second half. Some of them were shot selection. Some of them were just being able to finish shots around the basket, but those are all things that we have to continue to drill and work on. And quite frankly, if we would have played this game a month ago, we wouldn't have been as good then as we are now. So, the word for us is improvement, really welcoming a lot of new faces to our program. And an experience like this it's such a win for our team and for our program.
Coach, what did you see from Desmond Claude in terms of, you already talked about him being the only healthy returner, but now the summer he's had and taking that next step as a scorer?
Yeah, Des had a solid night. He has to understand that the role he has on this year's team, a silly foul or a silly 2 fouls, can really cost him and cost our team. Just being an experienced player, the role that he has on this year's team, it's much, much different from being a young freshman on a year ago on that team. So again, he probably learned a valuable lesson that every foul that he commits counts, and he doesn't have the luxury of committing one that he's not alert on or an ill-advised play. But Des did score 21 points. He was 8 for 15 from the floor, and he overcame that foul trouble, and certainly was one of our team's best players.
And in terms of providing a spark off the bench, Trey Green offensively 13 points, but really on both sides too. I think he had a couple steals and took a charge down there low. Just what'd you see from him in his first taste of college action?
Yeah, we know Trey's one of the best shooters in the country, regardless of whether he's a freshman or a senior. And I want him to play with great confidence. And, there are times when the ball was moving and the game got fast, and he's such a weapon because he can change things in a hurry. A lot like Sule Boom for us a year ago. Trey has a lot of similarities on offense that Sule had. The other guy that I thought was really good for us tonight, and he's been really good for us in our practices and over the last probably 5 or 6 weeks, is Davion McKnight. He really does it defensively. He had a couple late turnovers, but he led us in assists with 5 for 11 from the field, 12 points. He had 4 steals. And for the most part, he guarded number 6, Diego Mafia, with a lot of energy. He disrupted the game with his deflections and his effort. And I thought he really set the tone. You talked about our fast start. He looked confident, pushed the ball, and it was kind of great to see him play with the disposition that he did on both ends. It's really a unique game in that if you break the game down into 4-minute segments that we do, we got outscored 23-6 in 3.5 minutes, from the 8-minute media timeout to a little bit under the 4-minute media timeout. And our guys ran out of gas. We didn't have a lot of fight in us. We gave in on defense, we gave in on offense. So they went on a plus 17 run in about a 3.5-minute window. I didn't call a timeout because I was curious to see if that group could fix it, if they would give in. And, I think, again, among the many things we learned in tonight's game, you got to keep playing. You have to fight. You can't let something that happened on offense affect your defense, or vice versa. Something that happened on your defense affect your offense. We had a lot of young guys, a lot of new faces out there, but I think it was good for us to experience that. And then the last 3 minutes of the game, we subbed, and I thought that group did a great job finishing it. So my point is, it finished 80-68, but I think we were up 25 points under the 8-minute media timeout, and it went from 25-8 in about 3 minutes. So again, that's what happens when you have so many new faces and a lot of youth, and that's going to be our storyline. We have to teach those guys. They have to learn, grow, improve. But that's the beauty of this experience and trip. It gives everybody the luxury to learn more about our team, our program, themselves, and then we could pick up right where we leave off when the trip ends.
Hey, Sean, you mentioned Davion McKnight singled him out. Are you impressed or a little bit surprised with how well he's picked up your offense already? Does it feel like he has a really good feel for what you're doing?
No, we really believe in Quincy Oliveri and Davion McKnight. Two proven winners, great kids. We've been around them all summer. We watch them on an everyday basis, and bringing those guys in really helps the freshmen because they've been through the battles. They're battle tested. They don't know Xavier. They have not played for us, but they played 3 and 4 seasons of college basketball. So that experience is so important to our team, especially right now without us having both Jerome Hunter and Zach Fremantle and really Cam Kraft. So if you think about who we're playing right now, it's a collection of new faces. So, but I thought Davion really rose to the challenge tonight, set the tone, and I love the way he plays.
Did you see any noticeable differences between the small ball lineup versus the more traditional, bigger lineup out there tonight?
For sure. We have to be able to match up with 3-point shooters better. And sometimes you want to play a smaller group. But offensively, we haven't worked nearly as much with that group as we have with our 2 bigs. And so, that's something that we knew coming down here. And we'll improve on that as we get into the fall and head towards the month of November.